Hello friends, welcome back to my channel BOE Tutorials. In this video we will discuss about 17 steps to find the best boiler feed pump. A boiler feed pump is a crucial part of all boiler system. All process being with the feed water entering the boiler system. Thus finding the best fit for your boiler can ensure safe and enduring operation. Following these steps can help you find the right boiler feed pump for your system. First is find out the control method to be used. Determining the control method that will be used for feed water delivery will help you select what type of boiler feed pump you need. There are two common control methods. One is off control and modulating feed water control. If you use an on-off control, you need a very tough boiler feed pump and can last the wear and tear of sudden water surge. Possible water surge are less of a concern with a modulating feed water control. Second is calculate the base flow rate. A flow rate is the amount of water that come out the tap in 1 minute. The boiler system you need to have a steady input of feed water. Applying pressure can help keep the flow rate of the feed water steady. In order to do that, you need to find out the base flow rate first. A good way to determine the base flow rate is through this formula. Boiler maximum capacity horsepower into 0.069 into C. The value of C is based on how your pump will cycle, either in intermediate mode or in continuous feed mode. If your pump will have a intermediate mode, you can use the value of 1.50. If it is continuous, it is 1.15. After getting your base flow rate, you can calculate for your total flow rate. However, there are some factors you need to consider too. Third is consider the continuous boiler blowdown flow. The continuous blowdown flow work to remove total dissolved solids. This is important to ensure that no impurities can enter the boiler that could add to the wear and tear of the system. Although not a necessary step, it is good to add the continuous boiler blowdown flow to determine what type of boiler feed pump you need. To do this at 10% of the pump's efficiency flow rate. Fourth is check the bypass flow rate. If your desired control method needs a bypass recirculation line and valves, you need to add the bypass flow rate to get the total flow rate. Some control methods like variable speed drive, continuous bypass system, and a control bypass system can affect your total flow rate. All these control methods allow maintaining a minimum flow to avoid operating close to the shutoff head. Each bypass flow depends on the minimum flow requirement of the pump. It's usually 10 to 20% of the pump's flow. Just a reminder, always check with the manufacturer or review the pump technical manual. Fifth is compute for the total flow rate. Now that you have the base flow rate and other factors like the continuous boiler blowdown flow and bypass flow rate, you can compute for the total flow rate. The total flow rate is the amount of water that passes through the system in a given time. 6 is determining the feed pump's base head. After getting the total flow rate, you now need to get your pump's total dynamic head. The TDH is the total amount of pressure when water is flowing in the system. Just like how you compute for the total flow rate, you start with the feed pump base head. Here are the formula to get your pump base head. At the duty point flow rate in feet, boiler operating PSI into 2.31 into 1.03 divided by liquid specific gravity. At shutoff head, infit pressure relief valve PSI into 2.31 into 1.03 divided by liquid specific gravity. Next is include all suction piping head unit measurements. Another crucial parts of the boiler is the deaerator. It takes oxygen and carbon dioxide from the feed water so that pure water enter the boiler. Aside from these elements, the deaerator also remove the impurities from the feed water. Doing so extends the boiler life. Calculate the gauge pressure of the deaerator tank elevation head from the water line to the center line of the pump lowers impeller and all of the suction line friction losses. In getting the elevation head, make sure you are measuring from the suction side. Next is include the discharge piping system head components. Another factor that you need to get your feed pump TDS. You need to compute for all the friction losses on the pump discharge side. Include the elevation to the inlet relative to the discharge. Compute for the total dynamic head. Add all the measurements of the head components, the base head, suction side piping head and piping system head on the discharge side. Make sure that the base head include the safety factor. Determining the shutoff head. Aside from getting the correct head at the required flow rate, you also need to consider the shutoff head. To determine the shutoff head at zero flow, the head must be at the safety valve setting and then added 3%. Next is identify the temperature at the boiler feed water tank. Selecting your boiler feed pump also relies on its capacity to withstand different type of temperature. Since the boiler feed pump task is to carry feed water from the feed water tank to the boiler, the pump itself will be exposed to different temperatures. Next is calculate for the net positive suction head available. The net positive suction head available is a way to measure how close the water is to flashing. Usually the NPSHA can be estimated when the system is being designed and constructed. You can also calculate it using this formula. NPSHA is equal to the absolute pressure in the feed water tank plus elevation of minimum water level in the tank above feed pump minus vapor pressure of water in feed tank minus suction line friction loss. Next is review available boiler feed pump that can accommodate your total flow rate, TDS and NPSHA. Make sure to consider the curves needed so your pump can meet the calculated conditions. It is a good idea to choose a pump operating at or to the right of the pump best efficiency point. A few maximum flow rate has been used to size the pump. Boiler often operate at a percentage of their max flow rate, and so having a pump that can operate efficiently at these reduced flow can ensure longevity of your machines. Next is check that the shutoff head can also be accommodated. After selecting the boiler feed water pump that meet the desired condition, make sure to consider the shutoff heads as well. The ideal shutoff head must not be less than 3% above the safety valve setting. Next is check net positive suction head required versus NPSHA. When it comes to installing the boiler feed pump, the net positive suction head required or NPSHR should be checked against the NPSHA. Also make sure that is some margin between the NPSHA and the NPSHR required. At the pump manufacturer published NPSHR value, the pump has already experienced a drop in the head. which means the pump is caveating. This is why providing some margin between the available and required net positive suction head is important. Each NPSHR and NPSHA is unique, thus it must be checked and configured whenever a boiler feed pump is installed. Next is double check material compatibility. One more factor to consider in choosing your boiler feed pump is its compatibility with the chemical and the temperature it will handle. The goal is to have a boiler feed pump that can last a long time. Finding the right one that can handle the various chemicals and in different temperature is the key to longer lasting equipment. Next is find the brand that you can trust. Last and not least is to find a brand that you can trust. There are many options for boiler feed pumps, but there are only a few brands that you can rely on. Aside from calculating the specifications and requirements for your boiler feed pump, read reviews and recommendations on brands that you can trust. So friends, if you like this video, then like and share. Also don't forget to subscribe this channel and press bell icon for getting notification of my upcoming videos.